Hey guys, energy check-in time. How we all been doing? What's been going down? What's been happening? Well, plenty my side, because I seem to do a video and then I fall off the end of the planet for some time, and then I come back online again, do a video, fall off the end of the planet. So it's very intermittent, my side. And current mood right now, really feeling kind of like quite tired and just slow, and like kind of really kind of not monotone, just slow. Eyelids very heavy, and just, yeah, from the second I woke up I was like, God, I could sleep, you know? And that I wanted to start this video with that, because it's about, like, when we feel like that, we're like, oh, we've got to push through it, got to go to gym, got to wake ourselves up, got to do something. But there's a reason why you will be feeling at half mast. There's a reason why you're feeling like, because your guides need to slow you down while they're doing stuff. Do you know what I mean? And I've learned that over the years, because I used to push on through to try and get me through to my happy place, my default in my eyes, which was just to be like energized and feeling good. And you know, that's not what it's about anymore, because there's so many upgrades and there's so many recalibrations and all sorts of things going on in our systems. You know, we can't be on the go all the time, and we're not ones that are very good at kind of going, well, okay guides, I'll slow down for you so you can work on me. We don't do that. So like, they kind of like do it for us, you know. I have spoken to many all over the world. We are all going through very physical upgrades. And when I say physical, for me, I'm usually no problem with my sleeping. Go to bed, no problem, sleep all the way through, like sweet as a nut. Last 2 nights, 2 a.m. I've woken up and I just don't go back to sleep. And I'm like, oh my God, you know, so of course I have like a real tiredness on board, which is basically lack of sleep, but also as well, I can feel energetic. There's like a mild headache at the back of where my skull meets my neck, which we call the mouth of God. That's where all the energy consciousness streams through. So it's very common to suffer with headaches here. And I know certain people are really suffering with their physical bodies, aches and pains, severe headaches, nausea. Like, it's still happening, it's still going. So the upgrades and the recalibrations are still going on, and we're still very much in that astral traveling. We're doing a lot of work there as well, you know, when you sleep, if you have that pleasure. But like, there's so much going on, and it's almost like a race to the finish. Not that we're speeding through it too quickly, it's just like there's no reprieve in between. And we're kind of at the point now where there's like flus coming in. I've just spoken to my husband, we're due to travel Egypt next month. He's going through massive upgrades, you know, because the flu is on board now, purging, clearing space. So that is just up front and center. And I want to now talk about surrender, because that's all you can do. There's no pills or potions or anything that's going to make you feel better. Basically, you just have to surrender, and you have to just align with it and let go. And because what else can you do? There isn't anything else you can do. I mean, like, I'm now trying to work and get some stuff really finished, like that I've been working on, finished before we go to Egypt. And I'm literally having to do an hour and walk away from my laptop and just do that for a while. Do you know what I mean? And then lie there, scratch myself a little bit and go, I'll just do 5 minutes more. But it's a struggle. It's a real struggle. And I have been doing yin yoga every single morning. Now, I am very active, and I don't do an awful lot of slow anything, which is why my guides have just unplugged me slightly, because I'm slowing right down now. So every morning I'm doing my yin yoga, which is just really helping me relax into this very relaxed feeling I'm feeling, because I can't do anything else. So I'm working with it rather than against it. Back in the day, I would have gone and chucked in a gym program and gone, right, let's push through this, which, look, some days that does work. You can blow the codes out and just like reshuffle and realign, and then you kind of like feel a bit better. But if you're going to do that, that's it, you know, have a focus and mindfulness that you're actually doing that to be able to relax more deeply into the process. Because sometimes to exercise and move the body, you can actually clear some light intensities which are making you feel, and I use the word intensities because it's the resistance that's intense, to be able to help you relax, move your body, and then move into your process. So basically, we're still in it. So I want to just talk, I'm looking down at my list, I have a list. It's how we roll nowadays. So I want to just talk about surrender. Because that's what I'm saying here about aligning with the process, and it's going to keep running, and we're going to move into April. I'm going to talk about that just now, but it's like, you know, it's like the actual surrender process. Something really crazy happened today. Now, and I'm going to show you what I see on the other side of my office here, because I'm going to turn it around. Can you see that there? my lovely green swimming pool, but that huge big oak tree up there. I mean, that's my guardian of my property here. So, hi, I'm back. So that guy there, and well, it's grandmother and grandfather, or depending on how we feel on the day. But huge guardian of this property, huge. And interestingly so today, I have 4 Maine Coons, and the baby, Ayahuasca, she got stuck right at the top of that tree today. And she was stuck, man. We were like, oh my God, she's not gonna be able to get down. Anyway, long story short, it was all of us around the bottom of the tree thinking, oh my God, oh my God. Well, she ran right out to the branches and she was literally hanging on to the floppiest branch in a leaf, the highest point of the tree. And in this moment, I just stared at this cat and I was like, well, she's going to fall, probably going to break something, if not possibly die. And there was like, it was awful. It was horrible. But in that moment, there was this just like, there was surrender. What will be, will be. What is God's will is God's will. And there was this really powerful, potent moment of like, well, I can't do anything to change this. And it's like time stood still and I just stood there and there was this calmness that came in. I mean, like, it was crazy because I'm like, my cat's about to have like a really, really bad fall, possibly fatal. No cat could survive this. And just as we went into that surrender, she doubled back and ran the other way and fell up the tree on the other side. She's alive and well, people. But my point is like I experienced that really intense moment of where something really bad was going to happen, like really bad, and everything just went slow-mo, and I was just like, wow. So surrender, 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 because that little portal I was given today, that's definitely the pathway through, you know, to get to that point. Well, what will be, you know, letting go. So I'm now moving into soul retrieval. Okay, so soul retrieval is, well, everything we do is soul retrieval. Every purge and aha moment and every process we go through is a soul retrieval, because essentially what we do is when we go through intense pockets of energy, whatever lessons they're bringing us, it's all growth for expansion, right? So and that expansion, what that actually is retrieving a soul part, which is coming back to you to make you whole once again. And that's the journey. Remember the journey of Osiris being dismembered into 14 parts. It's about remembering oneself, right? And coming into wholeness. And this is the year for it. It's like now. So so soul retrieval. And what was very, very powerful for me, I've had such an intense week. I'm not even going to go into the details because they're just stories at the end of the day, but I've been soul retrievaling AF. Does that make sense? But you know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, I have been soul retrieving my ass off. And basically what happened was I went back to a timeline of when I was in a scene. And my whole issue in the past week or so was I had my head in my hands and I've been so tired and I'm like, this mission is too big. Every time I seem to achieve something, I put something else in front of that, which scares the living bejesus out of me. And then it challenges me to grow and I get the lesson and I expand. But my life is just constantly anxiety because I'm like, oh my God, everything's trauma. So it's like I go through the trauma to clear the trauma and I don't want to do that anymore. So anyway, I was thinking, right, okay, got the tour next month and that's a big thing, big achievement, great, awesome, wonderful. The journey I've been through that has been traumatic to get to that place of embodying my leadership and really becoming whole with it. But now there's another tour to Jordan and now I'm kind of like diving into that, and then there's obviously a lot of fear because it's fear of the unknown. Once again, another tour, and then so we go. So what's your version of that? Okay, what is your version of expanding and growing? Because we're all doing it, whether you're a spiritual practitioner or you are a Waisha or whatever, it doesn't matter. You might be just going through a really shitty relationship or a real challenge at work where there's somebody's out to get you, or you know that you need to leave somewhere, or you got to do something. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, we're all being challenged for that growth. So we're all kind of like tapping into that anxiety of like going, oh my God, this needs to be easier. So my thing is the mission too big? Which is what I was saying to myself. I was like, this mission, I'm just so tired, I can't do it. It's like literally carrying a cross on my shoulders, like I'm bearing a cross. It's just, I don't want to travel like this anymore. Or is the mission quite fine? It's about my mode of travel while I do it, okay? So this is where I came to. I came to this choice point. This choice point was given to me by a dear friend of mine. She used the perfect words. You have a choice point. You choose fear, or you choose joy and expansion. Which way are you going to travel? And then I think over this past week, I chose joy. And basically, I went back to my Essene self. Those of you that know about the Essenes, those of you who don't, it's basically a religious community, Anna, grandmother of Jesus, Yeshua, the Magdalens, it was all back in that timeline. Now, when they were on the mission back then, I mean, it was heavy because they were all involved in the divine plan, which was to help Jesus to ascend. And that was horrible. And there was no joy in being in service back then. And of course, this soul retrieval I went through was going back to that timeline. And I've actually just re-embodied an old aspect of myself of being in a scene, carrying a lot of energy back then, but it was arduous and it was heavy. So this week I brought her home. And the beautiful thing is when you soul retrieve, when that aspect comes back to you, they bring you a whole bunch of gifts. So I'm now like embodying as we speak, which is probably why I'm so tired. The gifts that I had back then, I'm now embodying because I'm bringing it into this timeline, but I'm now also collapsing the timeline of doing my mission arduously and hard and through trauma. So this is just like almost like a memory of doing it that way, but I'm still running the program. So this might be very familiar for a lot of you that are going through stuff. And like we soul retrieve all the time. When you go to sleep, you soul retrieve. When you've got to take your power back from someone, something, or somewhere, it's a soul retrieval. Gifts come back. It doesn't matter whether you have like a conscious memory of whether you're a scene or not. I just work at that level and I go into that kind of detail. So that's what happened. So I basically brought my Essene self back online. Now, the interesting thing is, as I flow from that into the next subject matter, is we are moving into April. April is all about resurrection. It's the resurrection month. April is going to be powerful, so powerful. It's all about heart energy as well. So we are going to be coming out of what we've been going through. And we're going to move. I always feel very strong energy when we come to June, but I think that by the time we get to June, second half of this year, we're going to be flying in a very, very different way, more efficiently, not a cart with three wheels. But right now we're coming to that process where we're entering into April and it's resurrection month. So if it's resurrection month, that means we've died already. Yay! So now we rise. So God, I want to rise. I really do. I'm tired of dying, even though it's the process, but let's rise. Let's have a bit of resurrection, shall we? So that's what's happening in April. And that is why there's so many people doing tours in Egypt right now. So many people are gravitating and going to Egypt. And of course, that's my first tour that I'm holding on the 19th of April. I go over there. And not only do I hold my tour to Egypt, straight afterwards I go to Jordan because I'm going to be obviously bringing in that Essene energy in a big way. So not to say that because I go through things, everybody else does, but when I share with the group, there's always deep resonance with people that message me or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, if I'm resurrecting this deep memory of my Essene self, which was right back at the beginning, huge soul retrieval, and it just so happens that I'm going to Jordan, not just Egypt, which is all to do with the Essenes. I'm going to the Dead Sea and Moses and all that kind of thing. If I'm going to do that, my own personal pilgrimage to that place, right? That means that something big is definitely shifting, because I wouldn't be able to do that unless humanity had shifted. I wouldn't be able to go bring in this soul piece and then go to the land in physical form, because it just wouldn't line up. It wouldn't tie up like that. So when I get this kind of like forward motion and a crazy mad synchronicity, that's when I know a portal is opening. And if it's opening, it's not just opening for me, it's opening for all of us, because I am you, you are me, we are one, so on and so on. So this is where I'm actually getting like quite sort of like, whoa. So no wonder. So let's go back to the beginning. No wonder we're tired. No wonder we're purging like mofos. You know what I mean? No wonder we're still going through this process. But I ask you to just raise above it a little bit and try and understand through here what the bigger picture is that's going on and why. We certainly aren't looping and going through. We're just at the bottom of the bucket now, getting everything tidied up, and that's what the galactics tell me every day. Clean your house, clean your house, clean your house, tidy up, tidy up, tidy up. So that's where we're at right now. So we're tidying up, we're getting our shit sorted, our shit tight, so we can go into so we can resurrect, basically, so yeah, so I've got on my list here, upgrade, still happening. Download, I've just written, is complete, which means just now, when you see your phone filling up with battery power and it says your phone is charged, or download is complete, and you get that big green tick. Well, that is where we're heading to, and it's very, very, very close. So with that, okay, I'm just going to sign off here now, because I think that there's going to be very different energies coming, excuse me, in the next few weeks as we move into April. And, it's just to rest. Be really, really clear on what's going on and why, and support yourself in many ways possible. Work with it, not against it. Bring in yoga in if that's what you need, and just sleep a lot, rest a lot. And if you're not sleeping, oh well, this too shall pass. So yeah, so keep on trekking, keep on aligning, and this too will show a brand new horizon very, very soon. So much love to you as always. Peace. I'm gonna go and lie down. Gonna go and have a rest now. Woo, that just blew my sparks. Love, love, love.